Hello, Mr. Beeman. I today will be presenting you the great, fantastic school of UW-Madison. Now, this is our state's flagship school, and I would assume that you have a lot of students who are also looking to go here in the fall. But UW-Madison is located in Madison, Wisconsin, and its campus size is 936 acres. So it is a very, very large campus, and it's a public school that does thankfully accept AP credit. However, it does primarily only accepts fours and fives as they're looking for a little bit more higher quality to give that college credit for them. And primarily, they only accept them as general ed related credits. Now, the admissions rate is hovering around 54% with a graduation rate of 85%. And its freshman retention rate is one of the best in the entire nation. Its freshman retention rate is actually at 95%. And typically you're going to find retention rates that are much, much lower than this. And US News ranked it as the 13th top public school in the entire United States. So it's an extremely impressive, well-credentialed school with a beautiful campus, and I've wanted to go here ever since I was extremely little. I've had family members that go here, and there was one time, I believe I was in fifth grade, and I went with a family friend, and we just walked around campus, and I instantly fell in love with it. I mean, I think the campus is just stunning, and it has high academic quality. So I wanted to go here my entire high school career, and I've tried to make sure that I can make my college application like as appealing as possible so I can get into this school. As I just said, I've been attempting to do all I can to stack my application to make sure I can get into UW-Madison. And now you're probably wondering, well, how does somebody get into UW-Madison? Well, that question can be answered by a variety of different ways. So the average GPA for somebody coming into UW-Madison is hovering around 3.86. This is an extremely high average GPA, so it is quite fairly competitive. The average ACT range is hovering around a 27 to a 32. That's where you're going to see the primary range of candidates coming into that school. I myself, my GPA is around a 3.89, and I scored a 29 composite score in the ACT, so I'm quite secure. Now, for students who are taking the SAT, the average score is a 1390. And other advice for getting into UW-Madison and becoming a future Badger is you want to make sure you have an extremely strong Common App. A lot of individuals have said that their essay was one of their most important aspects of the application process. And make sure you participate in extracurriculars and having strong teacher recommendations. I've made sure to stick my neck out there and participate in a lot of clubs at Germantown High School. I was my class president junior year. I've participated in student council all throughout my high school career, the plays, musicals, and a bunch of different extracurriculars. So I've made sure I've stacked my application so I can hopefully get in there in the fall of 2021. You've been accepted. Congratulations, you officially are a future Badger. Well, now what can you be expecting? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to be covering in this presentation and video. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be dividing our presentation into 4 different categories, and that's living accommodations, academics and scheduling, campus cuisine, and activities and extracurriculars. So first I'll give a little bit of general information, and then I'll connect that to me as an individual and talk about how my day would look and what I'm looking forward to doing in the fall of 2021. Okay, so now we're going to be discussing living accommodations. And something that I think is super cool about the UW campus is it's divided into 2 different communities. And that's the Lakeshore community and the Southeast community. And these are both made up of separate dorms. And now, what do you mean? Why are they divided? What's the difference between them? Well, thankfully, I can explain that for you. So the Lakeshore community is a lot more serene and peaceful. It's closer to the lake, there's a lot of natural scenery, and if you're just someone who likes to relax and don't really like the fast pace of the big city, Lakeshore is most definitely for you. Now, if you're a little bit more of a night owl, you like seeing people going out, and you like the energy of the city, then you're going to want to go and stay in a southeast related dorm. Now what's really cool is these communities are less than 15 minutes away from one another in walking distance. So UW-Madison offers an extreme range of different experiences as individuals can go from a serene and blissful natural experience in Lakeshore and 15 minutes away go to southeast and experience all the hover and excitement of the big city. Okay, now to add to some specifics, we're going to be discussing the Lakeshore dormitories. And as I previously mentioned, Lakeshore is the more natural and serene side of the campus. It's very close to the lake and there's a lot of greenery surrounding it. So the different dormitories that you're going to be finding in Lakeshore are Phillips, DeHope, Adams, Elizabeth Waters, Bradley, Sullivan, Cole, Cronshaugh, Leopold, Jorns, and Slichter. Okay, so now we're going to be discussing the southeast dorms. And remember, these are the dorms that are closer to the city, and there's a lot more excitement and nightlife going on around here, and a lot less of the greenery and beautiful scenery that you'd see on Lakeshore. So the different dormitories that we'll be seeing in southeast are Barnard, Whitty, Ogg, Davis, Merritt, Celery, Chadbourne, and Smith. And you've probably noticed that there's a little asterisk next to Whitty, and this is where I'm going to be discussing my personal and hopeful day-to-day experiences at UW-Madison, as my ideal dormitory would be in Whitty, as I'm an individual who likes this atmosphere of the city, and Whitty is extremely close to a lot of the different sporting arenas right in town, and is within 15 minutes walking distance of Bascom Hill. And it recently was renovated, so it's an extremely nice dormitory. I just hope that I can get picked for that because it is extremely competitive. Alrighty, so here we are. It is my first day at UW-Madison. I'm standing outside of Whitty Dormitory, right in the heart of the big city. Alrighty, here we are, conveniently transported up to my dorm room, and now we can see that I am standing next to a mystery person because I decided that I want to have a roommate that does not go to Germantown. I want to expand my friend group, and I know a lot of individuals who are going to UW-Madison, but I feel as if I room with somebody from Germantown, I'm going to end up keeping the same friends as I did in high school, and I really want to diversify my friend group as I get a little bit older. So as you can see, the room is meant for 2 individuals. It is slightly smaller and there is no kitchenette. However, there are amazing amenities within the Whitty dormitory itself. As my first night as a Badger draws to a close, I decide to don my Badger PJs and brave the Whitty bathroom. Now, even though you don't get your own individual bathroom in your own dorm room, you do have to share it with other individuals on your floor. However, Whitty was just newly remodeled, and so were the bathrooms. So even though you do have to share it, which is a negative, they were newly remodeled, which is an absolute plus in my eyes. And there are individual shower stalls, so I really don't see it as that much of a problem. So there is a little bit of walk from your room, but it's an extremely new facility, and the bathrooms are fantastic, if you ask me. After I wake up, I decide to call my friend Emma, who is in our calculus class and is another Badger hopeful, and we decide to get some studying done before our first classes. So we head to one of the few common areas in the Whitty dormitory. Now, the Whitty dormitory has a lot of new facilities since it's been renovated. There are 2 separate common areas. There's one in the basement and there's one upstairs. What you're seeing now is the upstairs common area that has 2 floors and is extremely new. And in the basement, there's another common area that was also renovated. There's a computer lab, a music room, and a full kitchen. So there's a lot of facilities in the Whitty dormitory. So now we're going to be discussing different dining options at UW-Madison. However, there are tons of different places to eat on State Street and on the campus itself. I'm only going to be primarily discussing where I would go to eat, as it is 1, the largest place on campus to go eat, and 2, closest to Whitty's dormitory. Alright, so here we are at Gordon's Dining Hall for a quick bite to eat before my first class of the day, and this is the largest place to eat on campus, and it's extremely close in proximity to Whitty dormitory. Alright, here I am at the salad bar before my first class of the day in Gordon's. However, there are plenty other dining options within Gordon's itself. There are smaller restaurants within the dining hall that offer a variety of different cuisine. There's a grab-and-go bar, there's a Mexican food bar, there's a deli bar, and there's plenty of other types of food that you can eat there. So even though it is one singular dining hall, there's smaller restaurants and grab-and-go stations within Gordon's itself. Gordon's is open from 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. However, on select Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, it is also open till 1 a.m. I hopefully will be able to eat there 3 times a day from a prepaid meal plan. However, due to financial reasons, I might choose a plan that's a little bit more restrictive, which allows me to eat there twice a day, and then I'd have to cover the third meal on my own. However, I would hope to eat there 3 times a day, where I can go in and pick up a small grab-and-go meal and pay a la carte for any extras that I would acquire. Now, there are multiple different dining options on campus. However, it really wouldn't make a lot of sense for me to eat anywhere else, but Union Terrace would be another option as it's a common study place, but Woody is extremely close in location to Gordon's, and it is the largest dining hall, so it would just make the most sense that I would eat there most of the time. Alrighty, so now we're going to be discussing academics and scheduling. For all Badgers, there is